Welcome to the Founder Shift. My name is Rochelle Leerling, for founders who build something real and are ready to scale without losing themselves in the process. Short episodes, no fluff, real shifts. I want to talk about a word that makes most founders immediately check out: boundaries. I get it, it might sound like a self-help book, something you need to do and journal about, but no, it is very important in your journey as a founder, and most specifically when you're scaling. It is something to work on structurally, practically, and business critically. The reason most founders avoid it has nothing to do with not knowing what it is. It has much more to do with not wanting to disappoint other people. Let's talk about where this actually shows up. It shows up when a client asks you something outside of the scope of what you agreed on, and instead of pushing back, you just use it, accept it, absorb it, because they're a good client, because you don't want to lose them, you don't want to have the awkward conversation. It's easier just to do the extra thing than to have this whole discussion. And then it happens again and again, and now you're delivering something priced differently, and you're feeling quite resentful about it because this is not what you wanted. It also shows up with your team, because somebody brings you a problem that they should be solving themselves. You help them because you can, because it's faster, but yeah, you like to be generally useful. And then you bring it to another one, and then 6 months later, you wonder why you never, get to doing the things you need to do and why your team never shows up with ownership. It shows up with everything, with a hire that is not performing, somebody if you've known for a while, somebody that you're nice with, that you want to keep around and be nice with forever. It will go on like this until you have boundaries. One founder I worked with had a team member who was on his way out, and he basically said as a feedback, like, you're being too generous with everybody here. Everybody in the room is like slacking. And that hit him really hard because he thought he was just being a really good leader by being super nice and fun to work with, but he was avoiding discomfort really and holding people to that standard as well. That is what this is really about. Underneath the most boundary-setting failures I have seen is that people don't want to disappoint other people. They want to be liked and they want to be a great boss and leader. And hating the moment when somebody on the other side of the table looks unhappy because they know that they've caused it. They want to have good vibes. That's human, but it's also a business problem, especially when you're scaling. Because when you can say no to a client, your margins erode, right? When you can direct your team, they keep depending on you. When you can't end something that isn't working, everybody around you is adjusting to the lower standards. I'm talking about your team, of course, because you're willing to accept it. The thing about limits is that they're not feelings that you're trying to block off. They're a structural decision. They define how the business actually operates because you define what is included and what you don't want to see included, what you tolerate and what you don't, what the standards are that you want everybody to live towards. And people that get respect are the ones who actually show their boundaries and show what they want and what they need. Other people will step up to those expectations as well. So saying no is not a personality trait. It's a decision that you make about your business, about how you want to run it, and how you want to be treated while you're running it. So the conversation that's overdue, 7 months or so, the client that should be pushed back on, scope, the hire you made that is really not doing the thing. These are just very uncomfortable situations, but the cost of not doing anything about it, that is expensive. Because deciding, as it turns out, is a lot cheaper. Okay, that's it for today. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Link is in the description. Send me a message and let me know what resonated for you. I'd love to hear it.